For years, the streaming wars were all about content, who had the best shows, the biggest franchises, or the deepest library. Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, Prime Video, they spent billions fighting for your screen time. But here in 2025, something strange is happening. The battle for the future of entertainment isn't just about what you watch anymore, it's about what you watch it on. Welcome to the Streaming Wars 2.0, where media tech is quietly morphing into a hardware play. Let's start with what's changed. For a decade, streaming companies built their empires around software, apps, subscriptions, and content libraries. They replaced cable boxes with digital platforms and convinced the world that the future of entertainment was frictionless and online. But now those same companies are realizing something the tech world learned long ago. Whoever owns the hardware controls the experience and the profits. Think about it. Netflix doesn't own a single device. It relies on smart TVs, tablets, phones, and competitors' ecosystems to deliver its product. Meanwhile, Apple, Amazon, and even Google don't just stream. They own the pipes, the platforms, and the screens. And that's turning out to be a massive strategic advantage. Because as subscription growth slows and content spending becomes harder to justify, streaming companies are searching for new ways to differentiate and new ways to make money. Enter hardware. Amazon has the Fire TV, Apple has the Apple TV and the Vision Pro, Google has Chromecast and Pixel devices. Even Roku, once seen as a neutral middleman, is getting into branded TVs and home entertainment gear. Why? Because in the next phase of streaming, control of the living room means control of the ecosystem. The real money isn't in the $10 monthly subscription, it's in owning the gateway to how viewers access everything: content, commerce, and data. Let's dig into what's driving this shift. First, the economics of streaming have hit a wall. After years of aggressive expansion, subscriber growth has flattened. Churn, people canceling subscriptions, is at record highs, and content costs are astronomical. Netflix, Disney, and Warner Bros. Discovery all spent billions producing shows in 2023 and 2024, yet profit margins barely moved. So these companies are rethinking the business model. They're turning to hardware and integration, bundling devices, subscriptions, and advertising into unified ecosystems that keep users locked in. Disney, for example, is exploring deeper integration between Disney Plus and ESPN, streaming through smart TVs. Amazon is embedding Prime Video more tightly into Fire TV, complete with voice-driven shopping and ads that turn entertainment into retail. Apple is betting on its new Vision Pro headset to transform how people watch movies and sports, making the viewing experience itself the product. This isn't just about selling gadgets, it's about owning the customer's environment, their habits, data, and attention span. In other words, the streaming wars are moving from your subscription to your senses. And that's not just speculation, you can see it in the numbers. Sales of connected TVs, home theater devices, and mixed reality headsets are rising again after years of stagnation. Companies like Samsung and LG are partnering with streaming platforms to create custom AI-driven viewing experiences. Even Netflix, the most software-centric streamer, is quietly experimenting with branded hardware through partnerships on TVs and gaming devices. Because the new goal isn't just to stream content, it's to control the interface between humans and media, and that's leading to some surprising alliances. Chipmakers like NVIDIA and AMD, once focused on gaming, are now designing processors optimized for video rendering, AR, and AI upscaling. Meanwhile, cloud giants are racing to handle the computational demands of immersive media, real-time streaming in 8K, holographic video, and interactive sports. The line between entertainment and computing is blurring fast. In the streaming wars 1.0, companies fought over shows. In the streaming wars 2.0, they're fighting over infrastructure. That means servers, chips, edge networks, and the devices in your home. Because in this new model, every piece of hardware, every speaker, headset, and TV is a potential subscription point, data collector, and ad gateway. And the next frontier, immersive media. Imagine watching an NFL game in 3D through a headset, or attending a virtual concert where you can buy merch with a gesture. That's not science fiction. It's already being tested. Apple's Vision Pro, Meta's Quest, and Sony's PlayStation VR2 are all blurring the line between screen time and presence, and that's forcing traditional media companies to rethink their roles. Because if hardware companies start to own the user experience, what happens to the pure content players? That's the existential question for Hollywood right now. Studios spent a decade turning into streaming platforms, only to realize they're now competing with companies that control both the screens and the software. If you control the device, you control the data. If you control the data, you control the recommendation engine. And if you control the recommendations, you control what gets watched and how often. It's not about who makes the best show anymore. It's about who owns the viewer's attention pipeline. That's why the streaming industry is starting to look a lot more like the smartphone market, a handful of vertically integrated ecosystems, each with its own hardware, software, and content bundle. And for consumers, that could mean fewer choices but deeper experiences. Imagine a world where Netflix sells its own set-top box optimized for its interface, or Disney builds family-oriented smart TVs with built-in safety controls and exclusive content layers. Sounds far-fetched? Maybe not for long. Because if there's one lesson the tech industry keeps teaching, it's that platforms don't stay open forever. They consolidate. The more expensive content becomes, the more valuable hardware lock-in gets. And the companies that understand this, Apple, Amazon, Google, are already playing that long game. So, yes, the streaming wars are back, but they're not being fought over who makes the best show. They're being fought over who owns the screen, the sensors, and the system that delivers it. Streaming 1.0 was about entertainment. Streaming 2.0 is about ecosystems.